As promised, I'm back to fill this all in with Plasti, as many YouTubers have done. So I picked up a couple of cans. They took a few days to get here. They were about $8 a piece, and we're gonna give her a try. I'm probably not gonna bore you with a lot of spraying action like so many videos on YouTube have, but I'll definitely get it up and close and personal when we see how tough it is, and as we pull guns in and out to see how well it keeps up. And then also, if you remember from the earlier video, the kind of more sensitive places where we filled in a little bit of extra foam, how does that stick together with the Plasti sprayed on? All right, we're all set up outside to spray. The breeze is blowing pretty good out here, so we're gonna have to wait until that slows down. You want to make sure that you're not in direct sunlight. According to the can, spray 6 to 10 inches away, have at least 30 minutes between coats, and 4 hours for a complete dry. So pay attention to the weather if you're planning on doing this for a quick weekend project. Another couple of things, see all these little pieces here? I didn't clean it out as well as I thought. There's a bunch of little pieces that are floating around in there. I would recommend doing your best to get that out. Maybe blow it out with a compressor. I just kind of set it upside down in the wind and got as much out as I could, hoping that anything I miss will be stuck in with the Plasti and won't bother me. All right, day 2 of the weekend. It's a little less breezy, still a little bit breeze, but not quite as bad, so I'm gonna give it a shot. I really hope I can get that to stick back in place because it's gonna bug me. Otherwise, moving back and forth between the garage and backyard, it's been doing okay without the Plasti seal to hold it together. Coat number 1 here is nearly done. Definitely having a hard time staying away up to 10 inches, especially being outside with the slight movement of air. So don't feel like it's soaking in enough. So I'm going a little closer than they recommend. We'll see how it turns out. Well, I'm definitely not the best rule follower. I've pretty much blasted this entire can out. Tried to really focus extra on the edges. That just seems to make sense to me, to build it up on the edges. We'll see how it turns out. Now that's still looking a little ugly right there. I was able to use a branch and push that spot over there, if you remember it earlier. A couple others peeled away as they got darker. So we'll see how this turns out after dumping an entire can out here. I have one more can for a second coat, depending on how much I like it. I can definitely hear the can on its last legs here, just trying to get every last little bit out of it. You can hear it kind of petering out, so I'm kind of soaking some of those lower areas that I really want to firm up, that I think will get more use as stuff comes in and out. I'm trying to keep it somewhat even. You can definitely see where it gets juicier. There's a little bit of buildup. Will that show up after it's, dry? We'll find out. We will certainly find out. I don't want to use this can anymore. I don't want to use a nozzle that's all gummed up, so I'm really trying to just kill it. You can tell it's just about there. Here we are. We're all set. Overall, I would say I'm fairly impressed with it. I'll go right to the spots that we pointed out earlier. This was hanging out. You can kind of see. I can even pull on that pretty good. You're not getting any separation. Where I sprayed lightly, not seeing the separation that you were seeing quite a bit before. And then we had this spot over here where I homegrown it in. Quartz out on that. So I wouldn't suggest doing that. You'll have to watch an earlier video to know where that's coming from. For anyone not watching an earlier video, here's what it looked like. See how it just pops apart and just comes apart like that. And you can see even bending it up, it looks fine. It's holding in there very well. In summary, final wrap up, put everything in. It's in there nice and tight. As I put things in, I could definitely hear pulling in the fabric or in the foam. And best examples, probably the P89 here. Just, kind of can tell there's going to be some pulling away right there. And so Again, I think if I were to do it all over again, we would go for a solid surface foam part, use the same basic tactics to foam it out. I really like the variable depth that we did here. This is probably the thing I like the most. And quite frankly, it pulls in and out pretty well. You can see, I mean, I definitely sprayed extra around the edges, but it's not pulling away. So I like how that turned out. That's probably the gun that I'll be pulling in and out the most, assuming I bring this case. A lot of times we just pistol shoot, but yeah, we'll see. So if you have any other questions, feel free to put them in, and I will check probably every week or two and reply.